Introduction: a turning point for British broadcasting. For more than a century, the BBC has been one of the most recognisable and influential broadcasters in the world. Funded primarily by the television licence fee, it has provided news, education, entertainment, and cultural programming to millions across the UK and beyond. But the BBC now stands at a crossroads. With the current licence fee settlement due to expire in 2027, a fundamental question faces politicians, broadcasters, and the public alike. Should the BBC continue to be funded by a compulsory licence fee, or is it time for a new funding model? This debate is not just about money. It is about public service, independence, fairness, and the future of media in a rapidly changing digital world. What is the BBC licence fee? The licence fee is a compulsory annual payment made by households that watch or stream live television or use BBC iPlayer. The revenue funds the BBC's core services, including national and regional TV channels, BBC radio stations, BBC News at home and abroad, online services such as BBC iPlayer and BBC Sound, educational and cultural programming. Supporters argue that this system allows the BBC to operate independently of commercial pressure and political influence, while critics say it is outdated and unfair in an age of streaming. Why is the licence fee under scrutiny? The media landscape has changed dramatically. Audiences today consume content on demand through platforms such as Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime Video, and TikTok. Fewer people watch live television, especially younger audiences, and many question why they must pay a fee for services they may rarely use. Key criticisms include affordability concerns during a cost of living crisis, the perception that the licence fee is regressive, affecting low-income households disproportionately, enforcement methods that some see as heavy-handed, a belief that the BBC competes unfairly with commercial broadcasters. As a result, political pressure has grown to rethink how the BBC is funded after 2027. The case for keeping the licence fee. Despite criticism, the licence fee has strong defenders. Supporters argue that it enables the BBC to produce content without reliance on advertising or sponsors, invest in investigative journalism and impartial news, support UK creativity, regional production, and minority voices, provide universal access to high-quality programming. They warn that removing the licence fee could undermine the BBC's public service mission and weaken one of the UK's most trusted institutions. For many, the licence fee is seen as the price paid for a shared national broadcaster, free from commercial or political control. Alternative funding models. What could replace the licence fee? If the licence fee is scrapped or significantly reformed, several alternatives have been proposed. Subscription-based model. Under this system, viewers would pay only if they choose to access BBC content, similar to Netflix or Disney+. Voluntary and consumer-driven, seen as fairer by critics. Risks: excluding lower-income audiences could reduce funding for public interest programming, may push the BBC towards more popular, less diverse content. Advertising and sponsorship. Another option is introducing adverts across BBC services. Removes the need for compulsory payments. Familiar model globally could damage the BBC's distinctiveness. Risks: commercial influence over editorial decisions. Competes directly with private broadcasters. Direct government funding. The BBC could be funded through general taxation. No separate household charge. More progressive in theory, raises serious concerns about political independence. Funding could be vulnerable to government cuts. Hybrid model. A mixed system combining public funding with subscriptions or limited advertising is also possible. This approach could preserve core public services while allowing flexibility for premium or international content. What's at stake for the BBC? The funding decision post-2027 will shape The scale and scope of BBC programming, its independence and global reputation, the future of UK journalism and creative industries, public access to trusted news and educational content. If funding is reduced too sharply, critics warn the BBC could lose its ability to serve the whole nation. If reform is delayed, others fear it could lose relevance with modern audiences. Public opinion and political debate. Public attitudes remain divided. Some see the BBC as a vital national institution worth protecting. Others believe compulsory funding no longer makes sense in a fragmented media market. Politically, the issue has become increasingly prominent, with different visions emerging about whether the BBC should remain a publicly funded broadcaster or evolve into something closer to a commercial media brand. What happens next will depend on public consultation, political will, and how convincingly the BBC can argue its value in the years ahead. Conclusion: an uncertain but crucial future. The debate over the BBC's funding is ultimately a debate about what kind of media society wants. Should the BBC remain a universally funded public service, available to all? Or should it adapt to a market-driven future where viewers pay only for what they choose? As 2027 approaches, one thing is clear: the decisions made will shape British broadcasting for generations to come.